down the tread on four wheels. High on life and loving you, we can do whatever we want to.
Today we are getting a new fridge. We're so excited about it. We haven't had a fridge for 2 months or longer. 2 whole months. And we're finally getting a fridge. It's a brand new fridge, norcold, and we are having a mobile RV technician come out to install it. So they're gonna come here to the RV park. We're at a full hookup site so that he can work and actually do everything he needs to do. Properly adhere the fridge to the RV is the biggest challenge for this install. So I was on the phone for probably 3 days. 1,080 plus tax. Do you have service person available? If February 21st. We're hoping to go to Mexico before then. Is there any, if I buy it from you, can I then get it serviced by someone else? Yeah, that sounds great. What's his information? Josh, okay. Joe Mobile RV. Oh, thank you so much. Okay, so I'm gonna check with my husband. You're like we've called everyone in Tucson, and finally they're all saying 8-week delivery time. So Monday is amazing. All right, thank you so much. I'll call you back within an hour. Thanks, Jason. Bye. Yeah! Babe, we're getting in a fridge. So this is the fridge that we're replacing, and my biggest concern is that it won't be secure. And my other concern is this looks really hard to take out. I know he has a lot of experience doing it, but I don't even see where to start, honestly. So I'm just really happy that we're getting a fridge and that someone else is doing it. It was totally worth the money in this case. The fridge is ridiculously expensive, so we want to make sure it was done right. We're excited, but also nervous. And what are you nervous about?
I'm nervous that we could have a propane leak after it's installed. I'm nervous that it won't be secure enough, and when we drive it'll jiggle loose and it will break. I am nervous that it just might not work for some reason.
Yeah. And, oh, he's calling now, so I gotta answer.
Bye.
During this whole shopping process, I didn't know where our model number was on the fridge. You can easily find it on the back, which is likely located behind a panel. Josh also taught us about the connections. So here's the gas line. This is the AC power to our house battery and the 120 volt electrical outlet. Taking out the fridge proved to be more challenging than any of us expected. Josh took out the fridge piece by piece, first removing the door and then trying to squeeze it through. But the door was in the way. So Mike and Josh removed the RV door in order for us to attempt fridge removal number 3. This was less than ideal just because this door has not been removed in decades. But Josh and Mike accomplished it, and with that, it was on to take out that old fridge. Keep in mind, fridges were a lot heavier back in the 80s than they are today. And we knew going into this project that Mike was likely going to help Josh just with assisting of the removal of the fridge and putting in the new one. And now, time for the new fridge. While Josh explains how to deal with the drip tank in the back of the fridge.
That way it's not building up water and stuff.
So normally we should just check it and make sure that it's not overflowing or
yeah, I mean, it's going to drip some water, right? These fridges.
How often do you think?
Once a week maybe.
Okay.
But that's what I'm saying. If you just extend this tube,
yeah, it's just a tiny little drip.
Then you'll never have to worry about
because
that.
then we could route it out through the panel.
The new fridge was a lot easier to get in because it was slightly smaller and significantly lighter. Day 1 was all about making sure that the fridge was properly installed and functioning, and it was. And so the next day would involve creating a custom frame because the fridge was a little bit smaller. And thank you to Josh for even offering to do that. All right, so the fridge is installed and it's working on 3-way power. And I'm curious, how do you feel?
Extremely relieved. I can't even believe it works at all.
He was like so sure it wasn't gonna work.
No,
now,
I didn't want to get my hopes up.
The thing is, it's smaller than our last fridge, so there are gaps, but we are fixing that on Friday. My thoughts are I am so happy because this means we can go to Mexico earlier, and I cannot wait. We'll be on the beach. We'll have a fridge that actually keeps our food colder even longer than what it did before.
Where would you like me?
It was easier to go to Josh's house for this part so that he could make minor cuts and revisions to the custom frame as we were there. He said to make ourselves at home, and the dogs did not waste any time. It was a beautiful day, perfect weather, and we saw so much amazing desert wildlife, like this cute little hummingbird that flew right over my head. And just like that, the fridge was installed, frame built, and here's what it looks like. Okay, so here's our fridge all installed. So you could see the old fridge was lipped onto this darker wood, and this is the new wood. We do have the green paints to match, but it is currently in our house that has an Airbnb tenant, but we will be repainting it. It is intentional, there's a gap here, and you want the gap because it allows you to take out the fridge if it needs to be replaced in the future. This will be filled in with some silicone and then some caulk. This is a 3-way fridge. That means there are 3 forms of power: propane, electric hookup, and battery. We keep it on propane most of the time. This is how you control the temperature, and we found that we don't need it all the way up. Our previous fridge did not keep meat cold for longer than a couple days, so this is already improved. This shelving is extremely secure. Our last fridge, it fell out. And now we can have plenty of space for even having milk and smoothies and our sodaology. One thing we learned from Josh is that it's really important to maintain a level fridge. This helps it stay functioning and last longer. As a rule of thumb, you do not want your leveling bubble to be more than a quarter bubble off. Your fridge manual has the exact degrees that it can handle. We do recommend always reading manuals, especially when it comes to appliances that cost you a lot. It helps them last longer and maintain the value of your investment. Some of the things that Josh did to extra reinforce the fridge, because he knows we go boondocking, go off-roading, and he wanted to make sure that it was as secure as possible. So he added solder to the wiring, and so all the wiring is super secure. He added a harness to it so it stays secure and it stays like in its own zone in the back, so all the wiring is behind the fridge. He also reinforced everything so the way the fridge screws in is actually into the wood, and I will show that. But he screwed everything in that way. He added a lot of brackets, and he did tell us that most of the time fridges do not come with the hardware. So if you're installing your own fridge, make sure that you also get additional hardware. Or if it does come with the hardware, it doesn't come with all of the hardware you probably would want. But so far we've gone off-roading, no issues. Fridge works amazing. He taught us how to make sure that we're correctly level at all times, and it is working like a champ. And I could not be more grateful for Freedom RV and to Josh at Joe Mobile RV Tech, because without them, this project could not have happened, truthfully. This was one of the biggest undertakings that we've done, most expensive work that we've had done, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. Thank you again to Josh for the amazing work and making us feel right at home. Subscribe for more RV life, full-time travel, and remote income. They truly, without them, this project, oh, it's still rolling. Without